All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining and being on time today. This morning is going to be a really great training. Hope all of you brought your thinking caps and a pen and paper, something to take notes with. You'll hear me frequently say throughout this webinar to write this down or take a screenshot or, anything that I feel will be important for you and aiding you to be able to increase your draft and utilize the buyback opportunities and processes in your stores, hopefully starting today. So welcome to the webinar. I am your host today, Danielle Rapolo, your regional performance consultant here at Planet Beach. And hopefully I won't take up too much of your time this morning, but we'll go through as quickly as possible to get you guys the most information as possible. And as always, this is going to be recorded for you guys to be able to bring back to your whole team. Maybe you are not working in your spa, you're a franchisee, and you have a spa director that can't necessarily hop on. This will be available to you, as well as now that we offer those quizzes. You guys can simply print up the quizzes to be able to distribute to your team at a meeting, have them tested on this webinar that you might task them to go and watch once you see the link go out, posted everywhere. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, welcome. Today's just an overview, a little bit to explain what we're going to be covering. Many of you are either, been around a while, heard of these, the buyback and buy it backs before. Maybe you're new. Maybe you have no idea what buying it back means. So that's why we're going to cover what they are. What are buybacks? You hear us talk so much about on a lot of calls, a lot of trainings, and a lot of webinars. We're going to go through that. Also, why are they important? What is the purpose of them? Why do we have this in place? What materials and offers can you buy back and when to do so? Tools and resources needed for closing new members on buyback offers, as well as the multi-visit procedure. Many of you might remember the multi-visit guest pass procedures. We did update that. We have that available, and it will be posted shortly after this webinar once we get the recording posted as well. Some scripts for training purposes for all of you out there who might be new, have newer staff, and want to implement this ASAP. And takeaways, not really homework. I won't give homework to you guys. But something to remember throughout this webinar is a lot of times we throw a lot of information on these slides, and we usually like to keep it that way for you to be able to take screenshots and take pictures or write things down as we go through. You'll see a lot less of that in this specific webinar because I want to be sure that you absorb the information, that you listen carefully, and not so much just pay attention or read through on a screen, just to alleviate any possibility of misunderstanding, information given that you may or may not have read correctly or taken and comprehended correctly. So a lot of the things that you'll see in this webinar specifically will be based on having to listen in and pay close attention when we cover the specific topics. So just a heads up there. So now, what are buybacks or what are buyback opportunities? Well, what does it sound like when you say, I want to buy something back? That means, that's something that you purchased, that's something that you invested in, and I would like to invest back. I want to take it back. I want to buy it from you, right? That's exactly what it is here. A buyback is a closing tactic. Many of you are using currently in your spas to be able to close new members. But they're really for non-members only because logistically looking at it, your members who are already set up on EFT and EFT memberships and your spas already made that commitment to you. And what we're trying to do is take those short-term customers. We're trying to take those people that didn't want to take the chance with us before. They weren't ready. They didn't make a good decision yet. They weren't ready to make a good decision yet because they didn't see value, and so on and so forth. But here is the definition of a buyback, leading into the definition of a buyback. To buy back from a customer is to implement a specific credit toward the price point of an enrollment for a new EFT membership based on two things. One, the amount of money already spent on a daily deal or services, packages, sessions, passes, whatever the case might be, whatever money they actually invested on those passes, on those Groupons, on those daily deals. And then there are the value of a specific offering, like a three free services guest pass or the $50 gift certificates that we usually hand out for marketing purposes. That's not something that someone necessarily invests any money into. So those are two different types of buybacks. Both are able to be bought back. One just has an investment, and one simply is a marketing material, a marketing print ad, something like that that you guys have in your spas right now. So few questions actually. I want you guys to ask yourself, many of you know, well, this is business, Danielle, it's common sense. Why do we hand out offerings? Why do we go out and hand out guest passes, $50 gift certificates, have promotions, enter to win? Why do we run specials in our stores? We always talk about this is the special of the week, product of the week. Why do we market our business in general? What is the main goal there? The main goal is obviously the same thing. To get customers in the door to sell EFT memberships, right? We're looking to get out there so we can bring people in to ultimately close them. Hence the brand new focus on all about the red appointments. The purpose there, getting them in the doors to make them members. It's also to get referrals, or like we choose to say to our members, you never want to talk to a member to try and get a referral and call them a referral. That's a very big sales word, so we call recommendations. To continue new quality members at all times. We always talk about that being the best lead generator is referrals, right? So we always like to try and get quality members, quality people in the door, not the ones that are coming in, I just want to get something free, which is why member referrals are always the number one best lead generator for the company, hands down to date. So that's specifically another reason why we have our offers and run our specials, because they have a with them when it comes to referrals, which is ambassador rewards, right? Retail sales. Retail sales is what we always try to do with product of the week, with the teeth whitening specials that we're running next week if you saw on the calendar. Like we did with the Detox Rocks campaign last month, to try to get people not only upgrading and to get new memberships sold, yes, but we were trying to move some of that stuff off of our shelves, and some of those retail items that don't move, like the Indulge and the vitamins and the PB Clean Energy and so on and so forth, and the Detoxify pills. We try to do that to get increased retail sales. And also just main and basic general brand awareness, especially for those of you who are in markets that have Planet Beaches on every corner, saturated markets like New Orleans or Arizona, Baton Rouge, and places like that. We usually like to get brand awareness out as well. So that's why we like to get out there and market the business and run specials and hand out offerings. And notice that, number one here listed, if you're looking at your screen, is to get consumers in the door and sell EFT memberships. It's our main Super Bowl goal, and we kind of know this, seems like common sense, right? Here's our current situation. Right now, unfortunately, when we talk about getting people in the door, we don't control it as best as we could. We don't control the outcome when we market. Anytime that you talk to a staff member and they say, yeah, I did go out and prospect, I handed out guest passes at this business down the street. Well, that's not controlling the outcome, right? We're not controlling that because we're not bringing back names and phone numbers and email addresses even for our email digital marketing and email blast marketing tasks that we're now doing this day and age. Right now, what we're currently focusing on, based on that feedback that you guys are hearing, when you hear about people saying that they are marketing and prospecting and they're trying to get people in the door right now, unfortunately, based on our approaches and what in our mind as a company thinks marketing and prospecting is, all we're doing is brand awareness right now, for the most part. Now, we do have our top performers that get it, that want to control the outcome. They want to control the situation whenever they are out and prospecting and they're marketing the business. Brand awareness is always a great thing, and this is something, a tip that I always like to tell a lot of my spas, specifically whenever I'm on the phones with them, is, anytime that you're in a situation where you're at a promotion or you're out marketing and prospecting, your number one goal is always to control the outcome and get some information to bring back to the spa. And the only time that it's ever should be acceptable to hand out a pass or hand out a gift certificate should be if you're in the middle of establishing and maintaining and creating a relationship with a potential new member out in the field to get them in the door to try new services. You can't break that moment of communication and speaking to this person. You can't break that by interrupting that to talk to someone else who may or may not be passing by and listening in because they're interested in information. But you also can't allow that other person listening in to just walk away and feel like it's a lost cause. So usually secondhand situations are, if you're in the middle of prospecting, that's always your number one thing you want to do. Control that outcome. Get that information in hand of that person's name and phone number so you can book a red appointment. But handing out guest passes or handing out some type of offer while you're speaking to somebody else to give that other person that you don't have the opportunity with, but you don't want to lose the opportunity in general, giving them something in hand to take with them is still better than letting that person go because you're so focused on one person. So keep that in mind right now across the board. This is probably your current situation. If you feel like you've tried tactics, you've tried marketing, you've tried doing everything in your power to be able to get people to come into your door and it's just not working, most likely it's because when you're out and you're thinking about guest traffic, I need to get people in, I need to market my business, it's all tactics that are based around and surrounds brand awareness only instead of all four of those things like you just saw previously on the previous slide, which I'll go back to just for your reference. The number one most important thing that we need to do and stay on top of and pay attention to is we want to give them something that they have to come in on. So number one, our main goal is before you send anybody out to prospect or get people in the door in the first place to be able to buy anything back from, they need to understand what is my end goal. It's important for you guys as leaders, franchisees, spa directors mainly, to let your staff, let your teammates know, listen, you're controlling your paycheck by doing this. How can you control your paycheck better versus relying on people coming in off of a guest pass, a gift certificate, this, that, and the other? At the end of the day, they must know I need to sell EFT memberships to make more commissions, to make bigger paychecks. In order to sell more memberships, I need to get more people in the door. And I simply am not okay, or I'm not going to accept the fact that I'm going to rely on the person I'm handing out guest passes to come in and hope they come in with my fingers crossed sitting by the door. So teach them that and lead them and give them that guidance and that advice and remind them, listen, the ultimate goal here is not to make your life worse or harder or say that this job's much harder and more difficult than you thought it would be. The goal here is to do everything and anything in your power to make sure they show up with this offering in hand for you to be able to buy back and put towards an EFT membership, which in turn will get you, individual spa consultant, more money for the next payroll. So something that I just wanted to bring to your attention was that we are only focusing right now on the brand awareness tactics. The tactics we are doing is only creating brand awareness. People in your area know you. They've heard of you most likely at this time, at this point. Even if you're in a pre-sale or pre-opening situation, you're getting the word out there already. So it's not brand awareness that we need to focus on anymore. We need to put more focus back into controlling that outcome. So I feel like I've covered that enough. The number one purpose of all buyback opportunities, like we discussed, is to turn a temporary visitor into a permanent member. That's important to write that down, take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. That's the number one purpose of buyback opportunities or buy it back. We want to make sure that we're getting commitment from people, and we understand that it's not always going to be a first day case scenario. I came in on one pass for one day of spa. It's not always going to be the case when we live in an age of commitment phobes, right? It's like asking someone to marry you after a first date. I'd have no idea if this is even valuable enough for me to spend $59 or $89 or $99 a month. So we need to make sure that we're continuously bringing them in on another opportunity to try these services, get them into a habit, and get that habit formed to where they absolutely can't live without you, and then move in and buy something back. So usually, and this is typically the step-by-step case scenario, whenever we have a new person come in the door, and I know all of you will probably nod your head whenever you hear this because I definitely firsthand remember the struggle being in the stores. The guests come in to use free services or multiple times paid for services, whatever the case might be. We service them because we're doing our job. We're trying to provide a good atmosphere. We're trying to provide the ultimate customer service to keep them wanting to come back eventually and hope they come back. So we're so focused on making sure their service is ready, making sure that the spa looks good, making sure that we're asking and making and seeing how they're enjoying their services, right? We're doing a great job at that. Company-wide, you guys rock, right? We're doing all of these things. Occasionally, we get a sample sale here and there. For a temporary customer that comes in the door, some of you don't even charge for samples. Some of you will give samples out. Some of you will just charge sample sizes and not even approach about bottle sales, right? We have full on bottle of this serum, but I'm just going to get you set up with the sample because you're only here on a guest pass, so I don't want to push it. I don't want to upset you. I want to provide a good experience. We miss lead generation opportunities, membership plus add-on sales, and retail sales on top of that so much whenever we look at a guest pass or a $50 gift certificate or a Groupon customer. So those are things that we're going to tackle today, and hopefully we'll be able to get you guys who are nodding right now saying, yeah, that's pretty much our flow. That's how these things usually work. That's why I hate giving out free stuff. Hopefully after today we'll be able to get you guys more motivated and see a different angle on these people that are coming in with these offers. So let's go through a list of different things that you guys are able to buy back. First off, any daily deal at all. When we say daily deal, we mean Groupon, Living Social, Amazon Local, which I hear just sort of dissolved as a company, so I don't know. That was a rumor. I haven't been in the stores in a while, so I apologize if they're no longer offering services like this. Or any type of online or paper coupon vouchers to use services or packages in your spa. Here we have Clipper Magazine, which is a magazine that goes out in the newspaper. It's paper copy. It's not online, and it's a bunch of businesses that go in and throw a bunch of coupons, vouchers in those magazines, and people go into those businesses and take advantage of the specials and discounts and promotions that different companies have. So whatever you guys have there. I know I'm missing Valpak. That's another vendor that we've always used for years that will now run online and paper coupon ads in the areas and the communities that you choose. Those are daily deals, and these are all definitely buyback customers. Why? Because they've purchased. They have actually invested money into receiving this, whether it is coming through in their local newspaper as a coupon book. They're paying for that local newspaper. So that is an investment, and that is money put up to come into your business and use it. And a lot of you are doing this currently. But keep in mind, folks, that daily deals are not meant specifically just to get word out there. The number one most common misconception, I'll tell you this, and I hope that you're paying attention or that you write this down. The number one most common misunderstanding when it comes to these daily deals like Groupon, Living Social, anything like Valpak, is that we are to service people who purchased, 5 sessions or 5 spa services or 5 tans for $29 or they purchased 8 for $49. I don't know. I'm throwing that out there. Many of you run different specials. Well, when we get these people that come in the door, we're assuming that we're just, hey, we're going to service you and you're going to use this, and thank you for spending the initial money that you gave me membership cash for in the bank because, Groupon's write me a check at the end of the month based on how many I sold online. But the real purpose behind this and why Planet Beach ever got set up with Groupons and Living Socials and so on and so forth is because these are buyback opportunities. This was when buyback sort of originated and stemmed from, because what we're trying to do, that's getting you in the door. You made that initial investment. As a thank you, I'm going to provide the best atmosphere and experience for you when you come in and visit for those 4, 5, 6, 7 sessions. But realistically, when you get to about 3 or 4, I'm going to approach you and I'm going to try to get you to let me take the value of what's left on what you spent on that Groupon and put it towards your enrollment fee, because I want to make you a permanent member. I've seen you come in here the last 3 times. You've loved it. You've formed a habit with them, and that's the real purpose. The real purpose is your franchisee most likely, I could tell you 100%, your franchisee did not run that Groupon special just for the sole purpose of driving in some instant cash in the bank. They're hoping that you guys are able to step up to the plate, see opportunity, want that commission, want to hit your goals, and close that person on that new member, and it ultimately increase your draft, your net EFT each month. That's really the number one goal there. So keep that in mind and make note of that to bring back to your team, because it's super important. Right now we're back on that slide that you just now saw. When they come in, all we're doing is servicing them, and we may or may not even talk and discuss about products. And it's not until later down the line you actually have a trained employee in there that's going, hey, are you using the PB Renew when you use Red Light? And here they are 3 months into their membership, and they're almost angry, right? Nobody ever told me about this. I was never talked to about that. So all of these things will tie into each other and create either a positive or a negative snowball effect. It's just up to you if you make it in your control and do something about that. Another thing you can buy back from customers, $50 gift certificates. We have these available in every generic way. We have it available based on holidays like this Valentine's Day coming up, how we created those $50 gift certificates for Valentine's Day for your B2Bs, for your florists, right? Those aren't purchased. They didn't make an investment, but those are buyback opportunities. Why? Because it's got a value on it. 1 month vouchers, 2 week vouchers, 1 week vouchers, guest passes, and existing sessions and packages. These 1, 2, and 1 week vouchers for the month and the weeks that you see here, a lot of times, many of you, instead of saying, when I prospect or when I market, I don't offer a day of spa, I'll do a week spa membership because you want them coming in enough to get hooked, right? To be able to approach them about a membership. So that's what these vouchers are in the event you've never heard them. 1 month are usually only for alumni campaign. If you've heard of alumni campaigns, these are something that we're currently restructuring the whole campaign materials and things to that nature. But alumni campaigns offer 1 month vouchers because they are alumni member only. So people who have been EFT members at your spot in the past, who have canceled for whatever reason, hadn't come back and just kind of fell off the map, fell off the grid, you usually reach out in an alumni campaign saying, we miss you, come back, we want to give you a 1 month voucher, a 1 month membership, just as a thank you for having been a member with us. That's what that is in the event you guys saw that and went, wait, what the heck is a 1 month voucher? Who's handing that out? Usually you don't want to throw out the 1 month vouchers for any given situation, usually for valued past EFT members only. And you always hear us talk existing sessions, existing packages. How many people have 2, 3 sessions left that purchase only, the 10 packs, or they buy 1 month or a 3 month paid in full, their expiration date's dwindling down. Maybe you want to go, and try to get them to take the investment that they already made on those sessions and packages and put that towards the enrollment. We're going to talk about the strategy behind that. And then lastly, what you can buy back from customers? Nothing. You can actually buy nothing back. That's like a thing. I'm not kidding. Buying nothing back means that walk-in or that person that came in going, hey, my friend told me about this, or you didn't necessarily encourage or urge them in reaching out to book a red, because usually when you book a red, you have something to offer them to come in. Hey, free day of spa, free week of spa services. But these are usually those walk-ins that say how much for a month of tanning, how much for, 1 spray tan or anything like that. They came in with absolutely nothing in hand, but you will learn before the end of this webinar how to buy back something that they didn't even have in the first place. And that's a little Jedi trick, so you will learn that in a second. So now we're going into the nitty-gritty. We're pulling up the when. So $50 gift certificates. Here we go with this. $50 gift certificates are a free material. It's free. It's something that we offer to you guys to get people in the door. $50 gift certificates is not something somebody pays for, but people show up with those all the time when you have promotions or you give them to members to hand out as gifts. When $50 gift certificate people come in, you're usually offering what you would offer to someone you're booking a red appointment to. So if they do or don't book the appointment, they come in, hey, I have this certificate, treat them as if you called and booked a red appointment with them based on what your offering is to those reds. If you're 3 free services 1 day, or if you're a 1 week, I always recommend doing the week because we need to have people forming habits before we can really get them to see the value in our membership and the value of using our services and products. So that will be my recommendation there. But a $50 gift certificate is always good to try and buy back at the point of they come in, they try the services that day after you do their personal spa profile. You put together a products and service regime form for them. Now, here's my advice, and I hope that you're listening and writing this down. If you are a 1 free day at the spa, or you don't do the 1 week for your own reasons, and you go to approach the sale, the membership. Here are the membership pitches I'm going to go through with you, whether it's, silver, gold, or titanium. And for some reason, the objections that you get whenever you say, I'm willing to buy back the $50 gift certificate today based on the fact that it's, whatever day of the month, let's just say a $99 enrollment plus whatever prorated first month up front It's $120. I want to go ahead and buy this $50 gift certificate back from you, and I want to implement that towards your $120 today. That way, it's only going to be a specific amount less than that $120. So where a new member would originally spend $120 to get set up on that membership, then it would go down to $70 just by buying back that value of $50. So $70 to get set up is usually way more incentive than it is for the originally being $120. That's much better, right? That seems like a lot better, especially when you get financial as your main reason for not signing up new members. You can't overcome the financial objection. It's difficult for you, whatever the case might be. This usually helps in that tactic, but here's a little tip I was going to tell you. No person can go left untouched for another opportunity. In other words, if they say no that day, there's always a quote-unquote brand awareness campaign going on in your spa that your team needs to be aware of. What do I mean by that? Don't let them leave without anything in hand to come back with. They don't become a member, that's okay. Offer them as a thank you, because we're having a huge brand awareness campaign happening right now. We appreciate you coming in with this and enjoying a day of spa. What I'd like to extend to you, because I can at this time, is a 1-week unlimited spa membership. I still want you to come back, and I still want you to be able to come in and use these services. Don't even worry about it. It's on me. I can do it right now because of this campaign. And what this is going to solidify is this customer or this guest that came in that you could not close the membership sale on with that buyback of the $50 gift certificate. That's going to ensure that they are going to come back again, and let them know it's 7 consecutive days. It's not 7 different visits spread out among a month or 2 when you can make it in. So that's going to create urgency for them to come in every single day and book an appointment. That's why it's important for you to use the personal regime builder form that's available to you in Orion to put one of these together. Even if they're doing 1 day at the spa, your process needs to be to tour them, do their personal spa profile, review it with them, tour them, come back up front while they're filling their consent forms up. That's whenever you should be grabbing the products that they're going to need to use, and that's when you grab the personal regime form, even if it's just 1 day. They're having something written on there where they see that they're going to be using these services, and these are the products that match up with it. And because it's got a week out for you, you can plan the week out on that regime form with that. That's assuming the sales tactic that you guys can use. Because later, if they say no, they still have that to take with them in hand when you offer an extended week. Because what you're doing is you then purchase something from them. You're buying time. You're not allowing them to walk out the door and say, oh, well, my closing percentage just got affected, so I guess they didn't want it. There's no going back. There's always a chance to keep them coming back until they say yes. What's going to happen 3-4 visits from now, because they're going to be booking their appointments every day, they're going to start seeing more of that value. And worst case scenario, you're winning them over with yourselves, your personality, your experience that you're providing, right? You're doing all these things, and then they're going to come back. And if they don't come back at you and say, you know what, I want to rethink that, can I still do the membership? Then you can go back in a few days later and say, listen, because the $50 gift certificate was a one-time offer only for me to buy back, I can actually buy back this week that you didn't even purchase. And I could put that towards this membership. I'm seeing how much you're loving this, Miss Mary. You look awesome. I mean, I'm already starting to see the benefits from you using the facial, or your spray tan looks amazing. Your skin, your glow looks awesome. That bed that you go into, you're really getting dark from it. Whatever it is, you can compliment them and say, I know you want to continue. We don't want to lose you. Why don't you let me get you hooked up on this? Like, I want to hook you up, right? I don't want to take your money is the way that I am being perceived to that customer. So that's a tip for all of you to take back with you that you can start utilizing today. Same goes for a 1-month voucher for those alumni members. If you run an alumni campaign, that's an entire month, so it seems like a long time. The purpose when you have these vouchers are not to allow them to get to that month without making them commit to you. So what is a 1-month valued at? It's typically for spa, it's $199. So that's a lot of money, and that's something that you always want to include in your letters you send, or on the vouchers themselves, or when you're handing them out to the people that are receiving them. This is a $199 value that I'm giving to you for free. So when they come in, you may want to consider putting into a process in place where it's like maybe a week or two into their 1 month is whenever you approach to buy back and implement whatever's left of that $199 value and prorate it yourself. So what's 2 weeks from 1 month based on each day of the month that's already been used up from $199? Take that dollar amount and implement that at the point of sale of the transaction to get an accurate dollar amount and say, usually to do this again it'd be $199. I can get you set up using this because you came in on this for just $59, and getting you set up is usually this much, but it would be barely nothing, right? So this is an opportunity for you to be able to say, I'm just trying to get you hooked up on a good deal because I see how much you're enjoying the services and we miss you. So you then become viewed not as a salesperson, but as someone just looking out for them. That's a good customer experience that they're going to write reviews about. And that's going to ultimately, again, drive more traffic into you. The same goes for 2-week vouchers. You should actually know and train your team on better judgment skills are required for this. However, have a system in place for all of these. If you have a 2-week membership out there for former customers that aren't members that you want to invite back in, have your team know that after 4 or 5 visits, that's the maximum that they can utilize this without being approached for a buyback. The same goes for the month. They can't exceed 2 weeks of utilizing this without being approached about a buyback. And then also for a 1 week, 2, 3 visits, maybe 4 tops, give them a specific quota. Give them a specific, this is how many visits they need to have in order to be able to utilize these services for free before being approached about becoming an EFT member. We're not just trying to give out free services to everybody all the time without a benefit, without there being some type of whiffum for us, right? And then guest passes. Guest passes are tricky just because it is either 3 free services or a day of spa. So the number one rule of thumb to remember here when it comes to pitching buybacks or pitching to a first-time guest, there's the age-old question. Many of you have scratched your head and gone back and forth between up until now, up until today, saying, when is that time to present a membership? When is it okay? Do you pitch before they use services? Do you pitch after? A lot of the time, you're getting people that do come in the door on a guest pass, but your staff is not even pitching that, right? Because you end up sending a secret shop and you get frustrated saying, these people coming in off guest passes aren't being sold not even the least bit of products. They're just using services and leaving, and I'm losing all that opportunity. And that's marketing dollars spent to get these passes printed up. So you feel like you're losing money. When in actuality, there needs to be a more specific process in place on accountability. So if you're a manager, if you're a franchisee, make sure that you have specifics and SMART goals put in place. And we remember SMART goals, right? That's an acronym: specific, measurable, realistic, right? Achievable and realistic, and time-based. That's important for you to say, listen, when a guest pass comes in, your procedure is, yes, provide the experience, service them like we saw on the previous slide. Give them that experience. Make sure you set them in their services. But I expect, if you're a spa that does not do the samples, first-time samples are free. If you want sales, I expect you to, go for the bottle size first, because these products can be used at home as well. They're not just for service use only. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to say, since you're going to need to use this for your services, you end up, there's a better value of getting the bottle size because you get to take this home even after you leave us today and use this when you get out of the shower, or use this whenever in your current regime of using other things and other products. You're promoting that person, and even if they don't become a member with you, they're going to get hooked on that product by getting the bottle size. They'll use it enough, right? If they get samples, it's just one time. They're not going to see benefits based on that. So here's my expectation, consultant number 1. I'm training you to know when a guest pass comes in, I expect you to pitch the bottle size first with these reasons why. Then if you can't get that, least case scenario sample. But once they are headed out of the door, offer to buy back that guest pass, because that is 3 services in our system, has a dollar amount behind it. And the dollar amount can be put towards that enrollment fee and say, you know what, we're actually able to buy this back even though you didn't pay for this pass. We can treat it as such. And that ties into nothing. When we talk nothing, remember when we said you can buy nothing back? That's sort of the same thing. Whenever somebody comes in with nothing in hand, you can approach them the same way you approach the people that come in on a $50 gift certificate, on a guest pass, on a month, week, 2-week voucher, whatever the case might be, on a Groupon daily deal. Approach them as if they have one and say, you know what I can do right now, because we're running a brand awareness campaign, is you came in off the street, you wanted to know how much these prices were, I allowed you to use these services, I treated you as if you were a member for a day by, let's go ahead and pretend you have a guest pass, and I can go ahead and implement in the system that you had one, because what that will do is get you to be able to use these services however often that you want, unlimited, just for $59 a month on an easy pay program. So in order to get you set up on that, I can take this value back of something you didn't even have, and you wouldn't owe that first $59 until the first of next month. So realistically, I could get you set up on using these services right now for nothing. That is the tactic on how to buy nothing back, and hopefully you guys had paid attention to that or wrote those little notes down. But you know how to do existing sessions and packages. We've talked about it. I'm going to cover this now in case you're newer, or in case you want to hear a different approach. Maybe it isn't working for you. Time and time again, I get emails, I get chats, text messages even, and phone calls from some of you out there that's, oh my gosh, it's pouring down rain outside. I have no sales. Can you please give me some advice? Give me some ideas. What should I do? I hear it all the time. And I remember being in that situation where it's like, I need to throw some Hail Mary passes or else I'm going to get written up. I can't not hit my goals, right? So what does that mean? Be proactive. For those who are coming into your store that currently purchase sessions, currently purchase their 1 month, 3 month, 6 month packages, yeah, when they're coming in for their appointments, it's one thing to be sure that you are trained up fully on checking that their customer information and their membership information. If you're checking people in right now, and this is a side note that all of you can take advantage of now to write down, is if you're not currently checking services in on your appointment book or checking them in however you're checking them in, if you're not looking at that little box that pops up to click check in and looking 3 buttons up to click the member information, then you're already a step or 2 behind being able to be successful in anything, not just buyback. That needs to be rule of thumb. Every single time that a member or a customer gets checked into a service, it's important that you click those magic buttons. The retail purchase history, why? That's going to tell me when the last time you bought any product was. You can't possibly still have any left over if you bought last year and you're still using the service almost every other day. So I'm going to know as a consultant to approach you and see about getting you to get another bottle or something comparable, right? But the main goal here is to click on their customer and member information button before hitting that start or check-in button to get their service started. Every single day we have to do that, because that's going to bring up, if they're session members, if they have 2 left, 3 left, 4 left, or whatever the case might be, maybe they just bought it the other day at member appreciation, but you want to offer a buyback. Look, you spent this much money on this, you're spending it way too much, you're spending more than you need to, and you're not getting the benefits and the perks that members get with being able to transfer it to somebody else or freeze it when you're not using it. It'll go to waste, right? All of these other different benefits, let's go ahead and get you set up on an easy pay program where you don't have to remember. We get you set up on the automatic billing. You don't pay anything until however long, based on how much the value of their sessions are left over. And you know what? Worst case scenario, you cannot buy it back. They're not committing to you. They don't want a membership. Reload them. That was what I was going to tell you when it comes to, those rainy days when you're trying to get some sales in the door. If people pull reports, you can be proactive about it instead of being reactive and waiting for people to come in the door. Pull the reports for session and package members in the reports tab and see who all in your database has sessions or something that's about to expire. You can reach out to them and say, hey, we're doing specific specials today only. It's BOGO. We're matching sessions. I know you just purchased and you got 5 left, but right now if you buy 5, you get 5 free. So ultimately you can get 15 for the price of this much, right? And you'll have that 15 underneath your profile. When the next time that you go to re-up, you're going to pay twice as much and get, almost a third less of sessions. So it makes more sense. I thought of you specifically. Do you want me to go ahead and take care of this with the card you have on file? Or do you want to give me a specific card that you want to use separately or drop off a check? Whatever the case might be, but that's how you can get some phone sales on in the spa on those slower days. So consider that, and always shoot for the buyback towards an EFT before it resorting back to just reloading them by offering them BOGOs on specials for your packages and sessions. Because guys, it's very important, and I hope that all of you are, I think all of you can agree with this, but it's very important that your team and your entire staff understands in full that this time of year is we're approaching busy season, okay? That's always going to be the case. We'll always have a busy season if we're in the look good, feel good industry. So right now is the time of year that people are more willing to spend that money, right? That we're getting those tax refund checks in. That's starting to come in. People are burning holes in their pocket with that extra cash that they have. They have vacations coming up, spring break, maybe there's proms, maybe there's all kinds of things that they're getting ready for, getting ready to start wearing those outfits, the clothes that show a little bit more skin. They're getting ready for that, and they're making the investments right now more than any other time of year. So it's important that we and our whole team understand, as much as we can get an EFT membership sale over being order takers and over, just selling the 1 month, 10 sessions, 3 months, 6 months, do it now while you can build up your net EFT and build that draft up, because sooner or later, we're going to go to sleep and we're going to wake up and it's going to be August and it's going to be nobody's coming in the door. We can't get EFT membership sales. It's harder. It's a more difficult time of year. Let's do it while it's easier and build the confidence up in our staff while we can. They're going to start selling these EFT memberships, and they're going to start feeling more confident in their pitches whenever they go to try and sell EFT members when it's the slower time of year. But first and foremost, it's important that they understand, you know what, now is that time of year. Let's go ahead and tell these people that are coming in saying, I just want to get another month. Teach them to say, you know what, right now we're offering this specific special, and go into buyback opportunities now versus just saying okay because we're so desperate to get mem cash in. It's not September. We're approaching a busy season, so let's try to do that while we can. Just to go through this for training purposes for yourselves and for you to take back to your team, it's important for you to understand people behaviors before you do anything with a buyback. Now, we're about to go through an entire script example, which I know you guys probably need in order to really fully absorb this information and bring this information back. So we will go through that in a second. But before we do anything, you guys have heard me specifically time and time again have approach training webinars. Approach, it's all about your approach. It's all about how you're perceived. It's not about what you're saying, because we know what you're saying has value. It's just getting the other person, getting the consumer to see the value. And what do we need to do is evaluate ourselves and our approaches on ourselves before we can even approach anybody with what a value is, right? So to be effective in anything with Buy It Back and in anything Planet Beach, it's important. And please take this back to your team. It is important that you remove your Planet Beach hat, take that off, put your consumer cap on. It's important that you take yourself from that element and put yourself in the element of, what did you know when you started in your position that first day? You knew absolutely nothing unless you're a former member and you knew this information already. But usually you know nothing about the products and services. You know nothing about the sales process, nothing about red appointments, nothing about ratio, collections, things to that nature. Be that person whenever you approach any person coming in the door, anybody that you're trying to get in the door, anything that you do. Get yourself from sales mode. The second, I usually like to say this in a lot of trainings, is the second that someone calls you out and says, wow, you're a good salesman, that should be when you feel the biggest failure. That used to give me this gut check like nobody's business. I hated hearing those words because I knew at that point I was too harsh, I was too aggressive, that my word choice was not smart. I used the wrong words, the wrong power words, right? They saw me as a salesperson and not as someone who was here specifically to get them set up on how to get the most out of their money with us and see the best results. That's our real jobs here. So to be effective in this, it's important that you take your Planet Beach cap off, because they have no idea what Hotbox Detox is, folks. They hear that word. I know you've heard and you've probably seen people's reaction in your area when you've said Hotbox Detox, right? Whoa, well, like, what are you guys doing over there at Planet Beach? And so it's important to explain, like in this example, we have services that are that are going to burn calories, that are isometrics, right? They have a yoga instructor that is on the videos that are going through these different isometric poses that's similar to hot yoga, but here's the benefits of it, right? And it's called our hot box detox. That should be last, right? That should be the last thing that you talk about, because you have no idea whenever you first start working, wait, we have a service called what? So it's important to remember that. And trust that your customer knows that. They will call you out. At this day and age, everybody's been in sales. Everybody knows marketing. So they'll see it and they will not hesitate to call you out on it. So trust that's happening. So rule number 1 of people behaviors, and this is a huge training moment, so it's important that you pay attention. Their perception's your reality. Doesn't matter what words you use that you think are the right words. If they feel like you're being pushy, if they feel like you have not provided enough value or didn't feel like you were there to actually see them through to results or provide an experience, then guess what? That's the case for you. So that would be a good training moment for you to sit back, evaluate your team, those who are struggling with closing a membership sale, and having them or sitting back watching them take on a tour, listening to them and say, you know what? I wouldn't have bought from you either, girl. Let's fix you up. Something to that nature, but understand and get them to understand that. You're not doing anything wrong. Don't get frustrated because you're doing a really great job. You're doing everything you were trained to do, and you're a great employee. So here's where the disconnect is, because I've sat back and watched you. This is their perception. So maybe you should try saying it in a little bit lighter of a tone, or maybe you should keep a smile on your face the whole time and not just seem like you have the dreaded RBF, where we all know what that is, the resting you-know-what face. That has killed so many more sales in our company, believe it or not, company-wide, than you would even imagine. But the perceptions of our customers that are coming in on these daily deals and these guest passes, they affect their thoughts. Their perceptions affect their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions, and we sell based on emotions, right? So it's important that we pay attention to that and use this in your training with your team. If they perceive you as soliciting them, then guess what? You're soliciting them. So stop and regroup. Stop what you're doing. If your team comes back at you and says, nobody wants to hand out their phone numbers, nobody wants to hand out their emails. Yeah, I wouldn't either if you came at me with that approach. However, come at me with a way of in approaching me with a compliment, warm me up a little bit, get me to like you a little bit, to where I eventually ask you, hey, where are you from again? What's Planet Beach? And if I can't get that much, say, you know what? I enjoyed talking to you so much. Since I'm out here handing out some free days of spa, I want to go ahead and get your name and number. I'm going back to the spa. When I get back here, when I'm done, I could take a look at the appointment book for today or tomorrow and see if you and somebody else wants to come in and use some free services. I want to do that for you, and it'll be on me. Don't even worry about it. I'll go ahead and I'll comp it. And that is completely different than what your consultant might be going out there saying, hi, I'm with Planet Beach, where we offer this and we offer that, and would you like to give me your name and number so that we can call you and set up an appointment for you to use that soliciting, right? So I just wanted to provide an example on what that is, and so that way you can take this back to your team whenever you're talking about the people behaviors of Buy It Back. We have to stop approaching conversations about referrals as if we're teenagers about to ask our parents for an extended curfew. Now, what I mean by this is, don't seem scared. If you seem scared, the consumer will know. If I'm approaching you on a buyback, or if I'm trying to get a referral from you, or if I'm trying to get anything from you and I'm afraid, and I'm saying, is there anybody that you think might want this? And I'm asking an open-ended question, first off, shame on me. So this is training moments, this is management tips, and this is something important for buybacks. Make sure your team is so brushed up and polished on their approach. The only way to do that is role play with them. And I know not everybody likes role play, so if they don't want to do it in front of people, do it one-on-one with them and let them know, I'm here to help you. This is going to help you. I want to write big checks. If I'm writing big checks, that means you're bringing me enough money to be able to do so. So let me help you. This is strictly to help you. Do it back to me. Buy this $50 gift certificate back, right? If they seem a little afraid, or if they're stuttering, if they're not looking you in the eye, twirling their hair, they're playing with their fingers, biting their nails, first and foremost, body language alone is, I am not feeling like this is a good thing to do, because she just doesn't look like that. She doesn't feel comfortable in pitching this to me. She doesn't look comfortable. I'm not doing that. No, I don't want to do it. So make sure that you cover that with them as well. Body language ties into that along with what you're saying. Kiss your customers. I don't mean kiss them, folks. I mean, that is another acronym, of course, keeping it simple, stupid. If you're talking to somebody about red light therapy, this ties into take your Planet Beach hat off and put your consumer hat on. If you're talking to someone about red light therapy and hot box detox, Lumiere facial, Planet Beach facial, whatever, what do you think the customer will do? Well, if I'm talking about the name of the service and saying, and we provide all these other health benefits when we do this, now we're talking about prospecting in general right now, but tying this into buyback is I'm not going to approach you to where it seems like I'm just trying to get you to keep coming back to get your money. I'm going to approach you in a way of, I want you to buy this back because it doesn't make any sense to pass up this opportunity. It makes no sense to lose out on an opportunity that's completely fixable, right? Because we have that unspoken 30-day risk-free trial that they can use when they become members. So worst case scenario, if you can't close that deal on buying something back, I won't necessarily sit there and cover, you can use this service and that service and this service and all of those things and all of the above. And I'm not going to focus on price point really even until the very, very end. I'm going to focus on, hey, I actually have a way that we can get you hooked up on using this whenever you want, as often as you want. You get run of the spa and it's so much less expensive than what it would typically be to get you set up to come back for another month or to come back for another 2 weeks or another week. Most Groupon deals that you run, you guys know, are $39, $49, $59. Hey, you spent this just for one limited month. I can get you set up on an easy pay program that's completely freezable when you're not using it. And you could give this away if you don't want it, but let's get you set up on this because I can run this today only. Always create urgency, always put a date on it, right? Because I can fix this later, and I'd rather it be the other way around versus you miss out on this opportunity. You have 30 days to love it or hate it without having any obligations to stay with us. No penalties are involved. Let's just go ahead and get you set up on this. I just don't want to see you pass up this opportunity and then kick yourself later because I won't be able to do it again. That is kissing your customer. That's keeping it simple, stupid. That way they know the basics are, well, this is completely undoable, so I can make this commitment today should I decide not to come back. Now, of course, the first 30 days of a membership is the most crucial because that's when the remorse buyers step up. Buyer's remorse starts kicking in for a lot of people and they'll come back, I don't know why I did that. I should have never made that commitment. So then, they're not one and done and you wipe your hands at that time. That's definitely something that you want to pay attention to when you offer and you go about that approach. But keep these people behaviors in mind whenever you are training your team on knowing how to effectively do the buyback and do it effectively. Now, that's not the end, so don't hang up on me here. I still have to go through the multi-guest pass procedure with you so that this way you have an idea of what that is. Now, this is going to now be on Orion after this webinar is over, but I want to walk through something with you that you'll be able to utilize as a tool in training your team. These are scripts. These are not specifically mandatory. Every customer situation will be different, so keep that in mind. But remember when buying something back, a person's expecting to be sold when they come into your doors. Remember that. Like I mentioned before, the most important thing that you can take away from this is that quote that you see at the top of that screen underneath the multi-visit gas pass procedure script manual. Most people assume when they get something for free that there are strings attached. They're expecting to be sold, so do the opposite. Do the opposite. Don't sell them. Do not make it seem like that you're going to sell them. How many of us have encompassed this before? I can't tell you how many times people have walked in with a guest pass saying, I just want to use this. I don't have my wallet. I'm not spending money. I'm not doing anything. And my entire team were trained to the T to say, oh, absolutely, we're excited to be able to redeem that for you. We don't want you to pay anything. We don't want you to have to pay anything. Today is just leave your wallet in your car day, right? So they're expecting that and they have a guard up even if they don't walk in saying those words to you. At the end of the day, you're not closing them because they're like, see, there it is. There's the catch, right? So do the opposite and shock them, right? They're expecting it, so don't shut it down before you even have the opportunity to win them over and see value before you even go into any of the different features and benefits of the membership. So here's an example of what to do in a multi-visit guest pass. When they come in, a person comes in with whatever offer that they have, you greet them with swell, right? You're doing the regular, your usual, welcome to Planet Beach, how can I help you today? And see what they have. I'm redeeming my 30-day membership, right? Okay, wonderful. My name is Danielle. What's yours? Okay, Jessica, it is a pleasure to meet you and welcome to Planet Beach. Thanks, you too. Now, do you have an appointment with one of our consultants today, or were you just popping in? That's always important to ask in the event that they don't tell you whenever they walk in, because you never want to, you don't want to take somebody's red appointment that they booked, right? So that's important. Yes, I have an appointment with such and such. Perfect. Well, such and such should be up in just a minute. She's finishing up on her consultation with one of our members now. So, really quick though, do you live in the area or are you just visiting? So I want to stop for a second and I want to point this out. For people coming in with offers that you need to buy back from, the first thing that you have to remember is that your first impression cannot happen again. That's why it's called a first impression. If for whatever reason you were sitting down on the floor, sitting down eating something behind the counter, texting in your phone, sitting on your couch with your friend or your boyfriend, whatever that is that's happening, that is going to be the one memory that's burned into that customer's brain for all of time. For as long as you're working at Planet Beach, they're going to remember that being their first impression. So not to have a swell training or a guest greeting training here, but it's important for you to take back to your team that this is going to be critical when it comes down to approaching a buyback opportunity. These are the things that pop in their head and they think about when they think about the value and what you're asking from them. So remember that. And also the importance in asking if they live nearby or if they're just visiting. Obviously, you're going to know if you're going to even approach a buyback. Is there a Planet Beach in their area? Yeah, I live right around the corner. Oh, how nice. And probably one of the most important questions here in the guest greeting, as you see on your screen, and hopefully you'll take a screenshot of this or write this down. Have you ever visited a Planet Beach before? Why is that so important? Well, like you see here in this guest example, I tried to make this as realistic as possible for all of you out there. Yeah, I tanned here years and years ago for prom, or I've tanned it here, for a cruise that I went on, but I just heard you say something about a spa. What the heck? You guys are a spa? Do you even have tanning anymore? Huge, because that's going to allow you to be able to open up the conversation and get them excited by saying, look, if they came in for tanning, that's fine. We don't want to miss our opportunity to get someone set up on $59 a month to use unlimited tanning, because you're going to put them in spa services to prep for their tanning service and spa services that's going to repair the damage caused from that tanning service, right? So it's important for you to express how important it is for them to know we still have what you want. We still have that on a menu of service. Fear not, that's going to also remove that fear when you go to approach a membership sale and can go from getting you to get a gold membership sold versus a silver. The ones that go, I just want tanning, right? We all have that in our spas for us that are UV. So this is also alleviating that, because that's giving you the opportunity to say, this is what sets us apart from mom and pops. The reason we're $59 a month is because we care about your skin. We're not going to throw you into that early coffin and burn your skin and do this damage. We actually want to make sure that not only are you getting the results, but you're taking care of your skin as well. And we're going to consult you to a goal. I'm your personal trainer, right? That's where the value of it comes down to when you try to pitch and close the membership that is $59 or $89 or $99 over $39 a month from that person. So one of the most important things right there, and I hope you guys took and wrote that down. So this is the part where you explain to them, if they visited Planet Beach, and then you go into the guest register. I can't wait to show you around to all of our new services, along with the services that you remember, and love, right? First, before we do anything, I'm going to need to record your visit with us today. So let's go ahead and get you checked in here on our guest register and walk them through it, guys. Too many times I've seen it time and time again, and I've seen it in my own staff in the past. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible habit to have. Pointing over to the clipboard that your guest register's on and saying, can you go ahead and sign in for me? That is simply not going to do it. That's not going to showcase any kind of value whenever you go and try to get higher price point memberships. So keep that in mind. To come around that counter, walk them to the guest register, explain to them what it is that you're recording a visit. That's all that they're signing right now. They're just checking in, just like they would when they go to the doctor's office or when they check in to go to a day spa or a luxury day spa. Everybody has to do it. So let's go ahead and get you checked in and record it up and walk them through it. Here, go ahead and put your name here. Make sure you print clearly for me. And the time right now is whatever time it is, right? And all we'll need right here is your initials. And how you heard about us. You mentioned that you came in on the 1 month or the 30-day pass. So go ahead and say that you're a recipient of the 30-day pass right here, or I can write it later, no big deal. Your email address as well. This is specifically to be able to save your customer profile. This is key. You get objections right now out there for guest registers not being registered. Nobody wants to give their email address because they think I'm going to solicit, so I don't have many email addresses on file. The best way to overcome the objection of not getting an email address at this point, at this time, is due to our software system, I cannot save someone's name or number or name or profile without having this, because our system makes us do it. It's mandatory to differentiate those who may or may not have similar names as yours, or if we mistype a letter in your name where we can't find you in our system, we identify you through our email address. So that's super, super important for you guys to be able to utilize, but make sure that you use that tactic too during the guest register. So now's the time where, now keep in mind, we're going through this process for a reason. You don't want to ruin your opportunity to buy anything back from someone. So your next process is obviously walking them over and sitting them down with just the personal spa profile, as you see here. To the next part, after they sign the guest register, you have the clipboard in hand with just the personal spa profile. If you currently have both the consent form, skin analysis, and personal spa profiles all in one, then there you go. You're probably getting pushback from people going, this is a lot of forms. They're not excited yet. So it's important that you do not include this, just the PSP, because too much paperwork when a customer is not yet excited about the services might discourage their decisions. And remember, we just learned about people behaviors, right? That's going to affect their emotions and their thoughts and their perception, and they're annoyed with you at this point. So that's a bad experience. They'll Yelp about it. They'll post on Google reviews or Facebook, trust me. And that's going to make that sale that you're going to try to achieve later on down the line much more difficult to achieve. So I have an example script here for you. Now, if you don't mind walking over here with me, just right over here to the couch, have a seat, fill out your PSP, your personal spa profile. What this is going to do is help your consultant or myself understand your current interests to be able to showcase these services that are going to match you. So I'm excited to see what you get set up today in your services. I can't wait. We're going to make sure that you get the same treatment and experience that our members receive daily during your time here with us. So once you're finished answering these few questions, a spa consultant or I will be right back here to review it with you, and then we'll show you around. Would you like some spa water while you're completing your profile? Things I want you guys to take away here, okay? Very, very important. Not only am I explaining why they're filling this out, a lot of us are just giving them clipboards saying, here, fill this out for me and we'll go ahead and get you started. I need you to tell them why. We need you to tell them why they need to fill it out. You know, even if they came and I just wanted to know about tanning. Okay, well, I'm going to show you the tanning, but I'm going to also show you services that you'll need to utilize in order to get the results that you need. So filling this out is just going to help me. I'm going to show you exactly what you want to see based on what you answer here. And notice this blurb here that says we are going to make sure that you get the same treatment and experience that our members receive daily during your time here with us. That is comparable to saying we're going to treat you like a member for a day. That's something about that is impactful whenever people hear, wow, that is building up the value of that membership without even realizing it. Wow, this membership situation at Planet Beach must be some kind of an elite thing. This must be a big deal. This must be like a hot commodity, right? It must be awesome, or it must be cool to be a member at Planet Beach because you're making it seem like all the cool kids are doing it, right? So that's kind of why you want to make sure in this spiel, when you're sitting them down, explain to them why they're filling it out, why you need it, and drop in the hint of, I'm so excited to get you started on this. Hopefully I'll have availabilities today before you leave. If not, we'll set up your next appointment. But we are so excited. We're going to be treating you like a member for the next 30 days. You're going to love it here. That's also not only making them think and psyching them out to believe that there is value to that membership later when you go to pitch the price point, but you're also, remember, misery loves company, but so does positivity. Your positivity and your excitement is subconsciously rubbing off on them. So they're like, oh my gosh, me too. I can't wait either. You know, so that'll take something from going, here, fill this out for me. And someone who's like having a bad day, who's really not that interested, you're not making it exciting for them, that will turn the entire way, that'll shift the entire way of that conversation on if you get a membership sale or not, believe it or not. So Going into reviewing the profile you see here, I don't have to go through it word for word, but when you sit back down, it's important for you to just pay attention to the main things. If you've noticed that they don't have an event coming up, or they do, whatever the case might be, look at their number one and number two area of interest and spend most of the majority of your time whenever you have these buyback people coming in the door building the relationship. It's all too often that we focus too much on following the review of the personal spot profile, showing them around, letting them use it, and then pitching, that we stop to take a second and talk before we go into reviewing it. Just talk. I mean, God, my favorite one, I'll let you guys steal it if you want it. It's kind of funny, is you look so familiar. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? And build a relationship from there, because it's super, super important to be able to do so. Now, hi, my name is whatever. If I'm your consultant, I'm going to be your consultant today. I got to ask you, I love your necklace. Would you mind sharing where you got it? Because I think that would look amazing on me too, right? And then you're making a joke and you're opening up the conversation. Before we get started, this is where we're losing people, guys. So pay attention, okay? Allow friendly discussions to take place. But when you transition into reviewing this personal spot profile, write this down, take a screenshot, whatever you guys need to do. But please remember this. Before you can go into reviewing the personal spot profile, this person has no idea what you are. They don't know what you're there to do. Therefore, when it comes time to sell and buy back offers, and you have that moment where you're trying to buy back a gift certificate or a voucher or a Groupon, they look at you as a salesperson. They don't matter to you. There's a catch. You're just trying to sell me something. So here's how to alleviate that off the bat, where you can always prevent that from happening when you try to buy back. Okay, Jessica, before I get started, I want to tell you a little bit about what Planet Beach is now, because you mentioned you tan here, right? So I'm going to go through that. We're automated spa services that offer private spa experiences at fractions of the cost and in less time than a day spa. I'm going to also talk to you about personally, what I'm here to do. You're meeting with me today, but I want to tell you what I'm going to be doing with you during your time with us, and what our team of consultants will provide you. What my main objective is to accomplish with this 30 days that you're here to redeem. Our members, and also I'll review with our spa hours, our operations, how we work, our 2-2 rule or our 3-3 rule, right? Booking 3 services out per day restriction, no more than 3 days in advance. That helps with the guest traffic and alleviating people using services too much. I'm going to go over all of that. Those are preliminaries that are important for this guest to know, right? Because it's all too often that we sit down and we don't clarify what I'm here to do from this time forward. I'm your consultant. You were a 10 to me on your area, on a scale from 1 to 10 on your profile. You circled a 10 on how important it is to achieving your goals and looking and feeling your best, right? You were a 10 to me because it's my job to make you a 10 the second you walked in the door. So, I'm going to give you all of the tools, resources, a schedule, a regime on all the things you need to do to hit this goal in your time here with us. And look at me as your personal trainer in the gym. You're off the bat alleviating the entire concept of you being a salesperson, because people know that you go to a gym, personal trainers don't sell memberships. Personal trainers are there just to train you from what the membership salespeople sold the person in the first place on. So you're putting that in their mind that later when you go to try and buy back, it's going to be much easier for you and your team to get a yes from this person versus pushback. It's also important for you to go through, and what my team of people believe here, my staff, is to provide an experience to you like no other, treat you like a member for the next month, for the next 30 days after I've explained what Planet Beach is. Also, our hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 9, right? Going through that. We also have an app, right? But we'll talk about the app later, but we want to talk mainly about what you know and what you need to know about how we operate the spa. And usually we book for our members, typically is, three services a day, and we can book as far as 3 days for out in the future. So you're setting them in good habits off the bat. You're explaining who you are off the bat, and you're not a salesperson off the bat, and what Planet Beach is long before you go into reviewing that PSP, right? So I hope that you took that and wrote that down somewhere, put that somewhere where you can utilize that in your next training, because that, my friends, is where we are falling short and getting more yeses and higher closing percentage. So Right before you review that PSP, you're going to get them to buy in. You're going to get them, remember the nodding of the head effect. When you're nodding your head and talking, they're nodding back with you. Isn't that exciting? I can't wait. I'm going to put together a schedule for you so you'll know exactly what you need to do, what products to use, so on and so forth for your entire time here. I can't wait. Aren't you just stoked, right? Yeah, I'm nodding my head. I have no choice. I'm excited. You done got me pumped up. I can't wait to start utilizing this. I'm going to say yes more so than the other example of, yeah, just sign in for me. Here, fill this out for me. Okay, let's get you set up here. I'm not going to do anything but put you in and out, right? This is where you have to remember to bring that relationship back, compliment, greet, and constantly swell them, you guys. Don't just swell at the guest greeting. Constantly swell them and get them excited about using the spot. Ask questions to get to know them. In other words, this is the most critical and important moment of your sales process. So here's where you're going to review the profile to unveil which area of interest. We'll let you know the services and products to show them first. Look for upcoming events that they have to get ready for. See how many days a week they can come in. Why? That's going to help you when you build that personal regime builder for them. If they say 3 days a week, you're going to put a regime form together with their products and service usage based on whatever, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and give that to them and let them leave with that in hand. Best advice ever on a buy it back opportunity whenever we go to touring the services. Go straight to the most popular service used by your members that matches that customer's #1 area of interest. If it's skincare and UV, then I'm going straight to hydration. That's our most popular service to date, company-wide, hands down. I'm going straight to that room. Just because it's all the way in the back doesn't mean that I'll get to it eventually. What you need to remember is we have on average about 2.6 seconds on average for a human being's attention span to stay with you before you have to say something else to grab their attention. That's a fun fact that all of you and your team needs to know about. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do everything in my power to keep them excited, and I'm not going to sit there and talk about teeth whitening just because it's my first room in my hallway. I'm going straight to the back and saying, I want to showcase the first service that, based on what you answered here for me, I'm going straight to the services that you're going to utilize the most of, Jessica. So if you'll take a walk back here with me, I'll cover all the other rooms with you as well. But I really want to show you what you're going to be using that I know you're going to be just as excited about using as I am. So then I'm going to go straight to that. Then I'm going to go into the 3 main features and benefits. It's all too well that we waste time talking about all the little things that have to do with that service. That is probably the most annoying thing that we get feedback from with our customers company-wide. She sat there and she talked to me about the science behind what the service is, and it was annoying me. I didn't even want to be in there. I went in there for tanning, and she's sitting here talking to me about NASA discovering something that is a light, but it's not tanning, but it's supposed to help me, I think she said. That's what's happening, right? So remember to say in your training, 3 bullets. What are the 3 main and most exciting hot buttons that people want to hear in layman terms that I'm going to say whenever it comes time for me to cover this specific service? So if hydration is what I'm going to, I'm going to talk about it covers all 3 areas of what we offer as a business: relaxation, rejuvenation, and helps in aiding with our UV or spray tan members. And this is basically going to do so by giving you a deep conditioning skin treatment. It's a liquid vitamin steam bath, and it doesn't hurt that it burns 300 or 350 calories a session either, does it? You get a vibratory massage, but that's completely, up to you to be able to use. Once you get in here, I'll definitely go through a rundown and show you how you have those controls. But how amazing does that sound? I'm not going to go necessarily into the fact that it does all of these scientific things and works with the molecules of the products and all of this other stuff. So remember that when it comes time to showcase this on all these people coming in on buy it backs. You also want to say on your way up, on services that don't match their personal spa profile, touch into it in passing. Don't stop. Don't spend time on it. Don't talk about features and benefits. Just say we also offer this service which does this. Maybe one feature and benefit, you're good. But don't lose them because you're talking too much. By focusing on features and benefits of the services and testimonials, before and after stories and photos, putting your focus on that instead of the names of the equipment like we're doing and mentioned earlier. This is our beauty angel. Well, okay, we're going to turn into an angel when I use it. What are you talking about, right? But This is our skin imperfection enhancement service that improves all types of skin imperfections along with our product that coincides with it, activates with each other, and over time, when you're set up on your regime, over time what it does is it's completely UV free. It's going to actually diminish the signs of any imperfections like sunspots, scarring, stretch marks, wrinkles. It improves and boosts collagen production. And utilizing this about 2 to 3 times a week, members have come to us and said they've noticed a difference after even 1 or to 2 weeks, depending on how often they come and the fact that they're using the product each and every time. What did I just do there? I covered everything that person wants to hear. Collagen boosting, right? I covered the fact that it's going to diminish fine line wrinkles, stretch marks, right? Wrinkles, and I even tied in product, right? So then whenever you get to the register and you hit them with a PB Renew sale, they're like, whoa, what is this? You didn't talk to me about that. You never told me I needed products. So it's important to focus on that instead of the names of the equipment, the science behind them, and never on the price points for memberships. Remember, doing the opposite. We're not trying to pitch a membership yet. We're just trying to make them feel like they're getting something for free or something that they already paid for is being used. The next step is we're getting the customers buy-in. This is the part where we get their confirmation that they're just as committed as we are. Again, we're personal trainers. This is also re-solidifying to them we're not salespeople just trying to sell them. All right, such and so. Okay, Jessica, we are almost ready to get you using some services at whatever, if it's then or if it's the next day. Let's go ahead back up front. And what I'm going to need to get from you is your usage release forms, your consent forms, and that's a couple pages. It's just a bunch of initialing, but read carefully because we want to make sure that there's no medical reasons or medications that you might be taking that could prevent you from using some of this awesome stuff. So while you're doing that, what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and get the products together that I mentioned throughout this tour on what you're going to need to be using that you can use at home as well. And I'm also going to put together your schedule. That way you can take this home, keep it handy. It's going to be sure that you know what services you're going to be utilizing on what days and which of these products that you'll need to remember to bring with you and get you started using this ASAP. Are you as excited as I am to get started today, Jessica? And nodding your head, this is getting that buy-in. Awesome, let's do this because I am so excited for you too. Sounds like we're being a little over the top, sounds like we're being a little bit spastic, but it's very important for you to remember that this is the kind of stuff that customers remember whenever they post reviews. This is the kind of stuff customers remember and it comes to their mind when you're approaching them on, here's a membership, here's the value of a membership. 9 times out of 10, providing that perfect experience is going to alleviate the fact that they won't even sign up for the services, you guys. They'll sign up just to be able to come in and see you every day. So at least try to do that if you get anything. Once the customer's done filling out all the paperwork, you're going to have them, this is a process we're missing too. Go like the Facebook page, go like or follow us on Instagram or Twitter and everything else. Get them to do that right then and there and tell them, our members can actually book appointments online. And once you become a member, right, I'm going to assume a sale. When you become a member after this is done, this is said and done because I surely hope that you do. You're going to love it here. I know you are. You'll be able to have that luxury as well. And also, so you can read up on all the things that are Planet Beach and get them to like your Facebook page so that when you're running specials, discounts, you're engaging with them, you're getting leads from them in the future, even if they don't become a member and you post to your Facebook page like the marketing calendar says, hey, post this to give out gift certificates and get people in the door. They're seeing that link and they're filling one out too with all their friends, right? So those are important things to remember. This goes into something you guys can read up on later when we post this, but it goes through the next few days. They show up. How did you enjoy services yesterday? Do you have any questions? This most important part too. Give me some feedback. Is there things we can do to make you using that service any better? Specific or special requests when we get you ready for your service usage, right? Maybe they don't want the candle lit because they have allergies and it bothered them last time. It gave them a headache, any requests like that. Asking them not only makes you look like you care, it's a good customer experience, but it's also making sure that you are 100% always on your A game to make sure that you cover all of your bases to make sure, if you get a no out of them, then you know what, at least you could say that you got and did everything in your power to make sure that they could say yes. So that's important as well. Always ask for the feedback, and then also go into different retail sales opportunities as you see here. I really love the Hydroderma Fusion. Great, what's your favorite product so far? Which one was your favorite yesterday? Which service? And so on and so forth. And getting them excited, but always remembering the most important thing every single day that they walk out of there, if they're a multi-visit, an appointment has got to be booked. Don't let them walk out without booking an appointment, cleaning a bed, making sure that you're up front whenever you pay attention to that T-Max timer that you guys have, because being in the back doing towels, whatever the case might be, is second priority. It takes the back seat to being up front, to catching that multi-visit person who is not yet a member before they walk out of the door, to have these conversations and book the next appointment. It's huge, because what happens here is we're forming that habit, right, folks? We have to remember that we get them in there every single day, to where when they see that they only have a few days left, they should be dreading that. They should be coming to you going, I'm so sad to leave. Which should be your opportunity to jump in and close the sale. So you'll be able to read through this, use this in your trainings. As we've mentioned on every other training that we have out there, in a membership presentation, when you close a member, duplicating your efforts is huge. Whatever you learn about this person at that time, if they're married, if they're dating somebody, if they have a significant other in general, maybe they don't, they have sisters, they have siblings, mothers, fathers, neighbors even, closing the membership sale and getting that pitch done. Here's the example. Staying on top of the customer's wants and needs to be certain to accommodate them as best as possible to get that experience. Always use their responses to your questions as an opportunity for another retail sale or referral for more people to invite in the door. Let's say you want to make this pitch, okay? I'm going in for the kill. Miss Mary's already been here for like 3, 4 days, 5 days, however long, and it's my time to jump in. Oh, you know what, Miss Mary, I wanted to discuss with you on this opportunity to stay with us all the time, and to be honest, we aren't looking forward to the day where we have to say goodbye to you. And with that said, I wanted to talk to you about what most of our members, now what I'm saying out there is most of our members take advantage of this. This must be a good deal if other people are doing it, right? Now, with the pass you came in on that's valued at $199, that's 1 month of spa. That's how much it would cost if you wanted to continue and get 1 more month with us. I know you don't want to be done soon. You look great. We loved having you here. So I know that you feel the same way either. I know that you feel the same way as well. So what if I told you I could get you set up to use this $199 a month value at just $59 a month? And I put the value of your 1 month voucher toward your get started investment that you don't need to worry about so you don't have to worry about your first $59 until whenever the next draft would be. So if it's typically $120 that day and you have $199 value behind a 1 month voucher, then guess what? You pay nothing to get this person. Our main priority is getting an EFT membership. So if my buyback completely wipes out the point of sale cost, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to see that as priority, and I'm going to understand I'm increasing my draft, I'm increasing my net EFT, which is going to come in handy for me whenever it's the slower time of the year. So that's priority. I'd rather not collect right now than versus being able to collect 24 months out every single month than not collect anything at all, right? So the best part is you didn't even have to pay the $199 to begin with. That was actually granted to you for free, but it's like getting more free stuff. So it's basically like you're getting free stuff all the way around, and you don't have to pay anything until the first of whatever month that's coming up. At least another month without paying for it anyway, right? And you want to make that a light conversation piece, saying, look at all the stuff that you're getting. And if they still continue to give you pushback about that and saying, oh, I don't know, it seems like a commitment once you explain the Easy Pay program, right? It's automatic billing. So you have everything else coming out of your account, like your phone bill, your car note, your house note even, this is just like that. And the good news is, the plus is, we do it all in-house. So, you run across a roadblock, an obstacle, you definitely just give us a call, a heads up, let us know, hey, can you hold off until next week? We are more than happy to accommodate you. That's the plus about us, not using any collections agencies or anything like that. And look, let's take a bigger look at this. You got 30 days. You got 30 days when you initially become a member to decide if you want to stick with it or not without being penalized. So it's literally a risk-free trial almost. There's no risk involved in getting you set up. But Miss Mary, I can only do that today. Today's the last day for me to be able to use this and take advantage of it. If you change your mind tonight when you go home and come back tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to do that for you. I can always undo. I cannot ever go back in and redo. Blame corporate, right? Oh, corporate doesn't let us do it in the software. They control it. They won't let us. I used to use that one all the time on people. So do that. But making sure at this time when you're approaching a buyback, you're covering features and benefits of the EFT membership itself, not the services and products and, the offerings on what it's going to do for them. They already know at this point what the services offer them and provide to them. They already know their goals. They already know which services to use for those goals. You need to sell them on the features and benefits of being an EFT member. With this, you get guest privileges, access to our member appreciation parties with special discounts and promotions that not everybody is privy to. You get to freeze this when you're not using it, so you're still paying less than anybody out there would that's coming in off the street buying a 1 month in advance, right? You're able to freeze this. You can't freeze something that's paid in full. You also have the option to transfer it. If you're moving, no worries. We can actually allow you to gift this price point to someone else. Because guess what? The price fluctuates all the time, Miss Mary. And getting you here set up with this guarantees that we'll be able to promise this rate for you as long as you stay a member with us. So when that price point does go up or down or whatever the case might be, you will not be affected by it. Those are features and benefits of the EFT membership. And that's whenever they look at the big picture and then they all of a sudden start coming back. Memories flood their head, their first visit, who you were, who greeted them, their ambiance of that spa, the way you made them feel, the way that you constantly stayed behind them and stayed on top of them and asked them how they're loving it and if there was anything you can do. All of those things, guys, is what always comes to mind when they reflect and you approach them in general at a membership sale. So keep that in mind, that that's what they're sitting back and bringing back up are those moments, not what you're telling them at that time. At that time, you can tell them $20 membership and they probably still go, no, because they don't see value. So remember to tie all of this in and remember to utilize everything in your power before letting somebody walk out. There's always something to buy back. That's the one takeaway that I'm hoping you guys get with this. So hopefully, you're writing this down. You can always buy something back, even nothing. You can always be proactive, right? You're not just reactive for people coming in the door, pulling reports, seeing who are sessions and who are package members, and even for upgrading campaigns as well. You can always be proactive as well as reactive with that. Also, you always need to follow a procedure during your tour for buybacks that states the common sense and critical thinking skills for your consultants, knowing when and what to say based on what's important to that member and that customer and their hot buttons, and always duplicating efforts is important as well. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go now. I appreciate your time with me today. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. This will be recorded, and I will have these documents available in Orion. Please print this up, you guys. It's important that you use this multi-visit guest pass procedure in your next upcoming training, because we have Valentine's Day gift certificate people that will be coming in the door that you guys printed up and you've been handing out to members. So a quick reminder, if you've not printed those up, please do so and keep a stack of those behind your counter. Every member coming in and out should be given these every single day coming in and out. Here's a gift for you guys. If you want to add some value to your gift that you got your significant other for Valentine's Day, throw this in with it. Let them come in and use some services. Or, for your daughter, mother, aunt, uncle, they should be getting 2 per envelope per day that you're passing out to members. Give them to your florists. That way everybody getting arrangements on Valentine's Day from any order that specific florist takes. They are incorporating those $50 gift certificates in with those arrangements. So you're getting the word out there to everyone receiving arrangements that day in exchange for free service use and free exposure to the spa, putting flowers up in the lobby or what have you, attending spa parties with brides or whatnot. Usually florists like that a lot. To be able to advertise and market. So do those things. Also, be sure that you're doing some internal campaigning with your bring in a loved one to get the same thing, price match. You buy 1 month and you get 1 month free to give to a significant other. That person coming in on that 1 month free or 2 weeks free, whatever you guys decide to go with there, That is a buyback. They didn't spend money on it. It was a free one, right? But it's valued at X amount of dollars. I want to buy that back halfway through the way and use this training, this procedure, this manual to train your staff and the people behavior slide that you just saw on the presentation that we just went through and understanding how to do this effectively. Get them trained up, because next week we're hoping to see a bunch of buybacks and a bunch of EFT increases from you guys buying back from all of this Valentine's Day marketing you're doing. All right, so I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you so much for attending. We will be back next Wednesday on our next training webinar, but hopefully you'll all be in attendance on next Monday Motivation Call, because it's going to be a special one. So we look forward to seeing all of you there. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to email spaperformance@planetbeach.com for any questions, concerns, continued training, and so on and so forth if you need be for this buyback process and procedure. And as always, my little eagles, don't forget to be awesome. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great week.